I have found a very easy way to process my cardboard into a product that I really like adding to these. Well, I'm going to call it the grower bin, bulk bin. And today, since I've got my breeders pretty much all full, I do need to split them again, but after I split them, I don't have enough room to split all of them. So I'm going to have to do something with all of the overflow. So I'm going to have bulk bins, nurseries. And first of all, we have the Green Hulk bulk bin. I'm filling first. And on the bottom, I've decided wood shavings because I don't want the moisture or the vermicastings laying flat on the bottom. Since this does not have any drain holes, I need to create a layer that will hopefully try to absorb that moisture as it's coming down, and then create airspace where we're not going to create too much of an anaerobic environment. I will have to punch the chimney holes in throughout so that I can make sure we're getting the aeration we need. And then I put a layer of leaves. And then what I'm doing is creating these, I call them cardboard leathers. And they're out of these strips of cardboard. I did bite the bullet and bought a cardboard shredder, but they are pretty expensive, I guess, if you're going to get a strong enough one to last very long, or buy the insurance policy, and maybe you'll be able to figure out where to send it to get it back. So I'm filling the Green Hulk now, and when I'm putting these, I just keep wanting to call them fruit leathers, but they're cardboard. And I kind of wad them up, throw them in here, and then mixing them in that top layer of leaves. So it's smash them in with the leaves, and then I just kind of twist that top layer. And so you can see that when that is smashed, it's not all laying next to one another like, say, a chipper shredder thing would be. If you get too fine of a grind, then everything lays really close together in the bin, and I kind of find like that is going to create more of an anaerobic environment a lot quicker than if you can put these larger pieces in, and just like if they kind of get wadded into here, there's actually a lot more airspace in between that. Then don't ever let them lay like on top of one another and get stuck together. That's just going to create a low oxygen, no oxygen condition once the bacteria start feeding on that glue or whatever it is they love, the cellulose. And that's what I'm trying to prevent. So this is a big piece of cardboard here, and so like I'm saying is once you mix it in with those leaves, you're going to create this like a ball, which is going to have all kinds of air spaces in there that the worms can get in. And I'm telling you, they love laying their cocoons inside those. This cardboard retains its structure longer than the leaves do. The leaves seem to break down a lot faster with the worms, and then you're stuck with a product that's more like heavily matted together, and that's going to quickly reduce the oxygen conditions, and then you're going to run into some troubles. So what I figured out is just straight coffee grounds. I get them. And okay, Incredible Hulk bulk bin. We're going to move it over to the side while I show you how to do this. Cardboard fruit leathers. We're going to do a sugar coating. But it's really coffee. But doesn't sugar sound so much better? Okay. And then I have these pieces here of cardboard. They've been soaking in the water. And don't soak them a crazy long time, because once again, you're going to get nasty anaerobic conditions that you don't want. And it's going to stink, especially if you're doing this in the house. So I just take this lovely mass of cardboard and I stick it in here, and then I just basically try to coat the cardboard, and as you let it set for a little bit, you can see how the layers, this was like 3 layers of cardboard. Now the outer layers seem to like really hold up a lot better no matter how long you soak them. But your center layer seems to degrade a lot faster. And see, that one you can just pull apart easily. That layer, I don't really mind. You know, it breaks up into smaller chunks, but I think them worms are going to eat that baby a lot faster because it's not as tough. And so all it takes is just, and I'm going to, now in the future, this is a really small strip, but I cut it apart by hand with a box cutter instead of buying that shredder. I held out as long as I could, and it seemed like it wasn't working for me, these shredders. The soaking it, and then I was using all kinds of devices to try and mix it, and it just wasn't working. So then I was pulling them apart, but I like the fact that when you get this coffee on them, they just seem to fall right apart. And I know that I make sure the coffee's super dry. It's sucking the moisture right out of the cardboard, and then it's like it doesn't even hold together anymore. So this one, all you have to do is pull that piece, and then go ahead and just lay it down on the coffee. And you can really, once you get coffee on one side of the paper, you can just lay it down on the next one, sprinkle some on it, and then lay it down, and you can sprinkle some more, and see how they just start falling apart just once they've just soaked with that coffee, just for a short fragment of time. And then just kind of go like this, and it just seems to break it apart. And you just keep coating it with the dry coffee grinds. So now we have our little pile over here of the ones. Now see, that one is a double. You can just get to tell them by the weight. This one's a little heavier in my hand, so I know it's still a double piece. And sure enough, there you have it. Okay, so then that one can go. This one here is another. This is a triple. Okay, there's one. And then I turn that over so it's actually touching the coffee. And that, just for a second, in that coffee like that, I don't know what it does. It just pulls the moisture out. And did you see that? Just when I grabbed the corner to pull it up, they separated. Just really wild. So now, I can pick up that whole pile, and through my hands, nothing is stuck together. This is a triple again. I can find it right away because when I start picking them up, they're a little heavier. And then I can just focus my attention on it and pull it apart. Now, my next step, these leathers I think are fine in these big bulk bins, but I am going to try the shredder for the breeder bins because I am going to want to separate cocoons from those breeder bins. And I'm not going to be able to do that very well with these huge pieces of cardboard leathers in the bin. So I went with the actual crosscut, the mini small sections. But I'm thinking as long as I put this coffee, I mean, obviously, you know, if you just stuck it in the bin with water, it was going to create this huge matted disaster like happened over here where I was soaking this cardboard. Just a huge matted disaster. But if I go ahead and then soak them and add this coffee grounds to them, then what I'm thinking, we'll see. All you can do is just, you know what, I tried this on the drill. You can order it from Amazon, and it is called, just call it pulled pork, stainless steel pulled pork puller. And you put it on the end of your drill, and it just mixes, it'll just mix it right up. And that's how I think I'm going to get apart those little mini cardboard pieces. Maybe I won't even need to. Maybe I will be able just to throw it in a tub of coffee grinds like this, and then use my hand, and they will just fall apart like these big leather pieces did. Now, the good thing about coffee grounds is, like, you can usually go to a local coffee shop, and they're going to sell you, or they will if you maybe you got to barter something with him, exchange some of your product to the manager there to get him to save you them coffee grounds so that you're not wasting money on something to get these things to come apart. But my next move will be, if I gotta do so many of these, I will get maybe a cheap cement mixer. So they say Harbor Freight check, cement mixers, and then just throw these leathers, even though they're all stuck together. I mean, I just got a whole tub there that I've just soaked with water. And then throw them from there into the cement mixer with the dry coffee grounds. And I think that would be enough massaging that I wouldn't have to use my hands. But I'm trying to make this doable for just, the small home person who's not going to be doing this on a commercial scale, who's not going to want to purchase the shredder or the cement mixer. And so what I'm finding is I'm doing a pretty lovely amount here, I guess, in a short amount of time, and taking care of these. So this is kind of wet now, but it seems to still be working even though it's wet. And I'm going to want some of these, so I'm just throwing those into Green Hulk bulk tank, and I'll continue to do that, but I don't want this video to get too long, and so that should be it. If you want to do the micros still, just soak those, and then by the handful, put them into the coffee grounds and mix them with your hand, and those will be great for your breeder bins. And then breeder bins, you're going to be monitoring closer and make sure that you're not going to create those anaerobic conditions. With these grower bins, you just kind of let them sit and forget about them. So you want to work a little harder at creating those chunky areas for oxygen and your worms to move in and out of. So I guess I feel like it's more important for your growers to have chunky material in them like that. And that's going to retain moisture as well. And also absorb moisture if you got too much. So you don't have too wet of conditions. Because at the top layer, these cardboards will be wicking, moisture away from your bin if it does get too much. Woohoo! Wonderful day. All right, that's it. I'll let you go now. Go ahead and hit that notify so you'll keep getting these updates delivered straight to your feed.